Hello, Special Olympics track and field athletes. Coach Janet here. During this time of the pandemic, we can't train together, so I thought I'd post a workout for you. I'm going to try and do it every week. We'll see how it goes this week, and then we'll improve every week. Before we get started, I want to talk to you a little bit about some safety tips and things you want to be aware of when you're training. Number one, don't train alone. Make sure that someone in your household is aware that you're training and that they can be nearby just in case you need any help or any support. Next, the area that you choose to train in should be even, clear surface that doesn't have any obstacles or any traffic around so that you can train in a safe way. Make sure that you're wearing proper clothing. Today is a really cool day, so I have lots of layers on, and as I warm up, I can take them off. A jacket with a zip is a really good idea because it's easy. Make sure you have proper footwear. Make sure you're wearing your running shoes and make sure they're done up properly. Listen to your body as we go through this workout. If you're tired, slow down. If you're sore, don't stretch as far. Don't bend as much. The most important thing is that you do your best without hurting your body. Your body will tell you what it can handle, and just listen to it. We're starting slowly, but everybody's starting at a different place in terms of their fitness level and their strength level. Last of all, make sure that you have water. We'll be having water breaks throughout the workout, but if you need another water break, take one. Okay, so we're going to start our workout the way we always do at track, where we go for a walk around the track. But I'm not at a track today, so I'm going to go for a walk with Brad and Vanessa and our dog Belle. She's grown quite a bit since we were at the track with her a few years ago, but we walk pretty much every day, and we walk around our neighborhood. Today's walk is going to be about 10 minutes long, and I'll talk to you again when we're coming back from the walk. See you in a bit. So, just getting back from our walk. We walked for about 15 or 20 minutes. We walk in a group. Our whole family is home alone together in our home, so we walk together. I recommend that you always walk with someone if you have someone at home to do that with. Okay, so now we're going to get started on our track practice. And we're going to start with a light jog. Vanessa, are you going to join me today, or are you going to join tomorrow after we post this?
I'm going to join today.
You're going to join today? Okay. So we're going to do a light jog. We're going to jog down the end of the driveway. Vanessa, you're not jogging. We're using our driveway because it's a smooth surface. There's not a lot of obstacles here, so we know it's going to be a pretty safe place to go. So I'm going to do about 5 laps of my driveway. This isn't a race. I'm not racing. I'm just getting warmed up, getting my body ready. It's a cold night tonight, so I want to make sure I'm a little bit warmed up before I get started. How many laps is this, Vanessa? Is it 3? Right, this is 3. My driveway's a bit of a hill, so I have to go uphill, and then I go downhill. Okay, and we're finishing up our jog. Now we're going to do some dynamic stretches. So we're going to stretch, but we're going to stretch while we move so that we stay nice and warm. So we're going to start with some sweeps. We're going to do 5 sweeps. And reach up to the sky, make a big circle with your hand. down, big circle with your hands. Toes pointed up. Extend, so I'm going 5 each leg. Then I'm moving down the driveway. I think that was 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to move into some lunges. So I'm going to take a big giant step. I'm going to bend both knees. I'm going to put my hands on my hips. I'm going to do it again. Big step. Bend both knees. Keep my head up. Bend both knees. Head up. Bend both knees. Head up. Bend both knees. Now we're going to change a little bit. And when we take our giant step, we're going to lift up. Giant step. 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 One more. Good job. Going back, we're going to do our sumos. So we're going to take a big step and we're going to bend down. Now remember, we're not bowing. We haven't won any medals yet. We're going to squat down with our legs. Switch and go the other way. Head up. Remember, you want to have your butt down when you do this. This is going to get us all warmed up for today's practice. Make sure all the muscles are ready. I think we have 3 more to do here. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's work on warming up our calves. Let's just walk on our toes for 10 steps. Now switch it up and walk on your heels for 10 steps. Good job. Shake those legs out. So now we've got the backs of our legs warmed up, we've got the fronts of our legs warmed up, and we've warmed up our shoulders a little bit. So now we're going to do our A's. A's are just a march, using our arms and our legs, and we really want to focus on opposite arm, opposite leg. Okay, so, and remember, hands go cheek, pocket, cheek, pocket. We focus ahead, stay nice and tall. When I get to the end of my driveway, I'm just going to do a little jog back. I'm going to do this 2 times. And we're just marching, we're not skipping. We'll do skipping next week. This week we're just going to work on marching. And remember, we don't want to be Pinocchio. It's not same hand, same leg. Opposite hand, opposite leg.
Another one on Monday?
Another one next week. Another practice every week.
Next Monday?
We'll film it on Monday and post it for Tuesday.
But when are we going to all be together?
And we'll all be together as soon as we can. And we get to the end of the driveway, and we're going to jog back up. Now, I'm not alone when I'm training. I've got Brad with me, I've got Vanessa with me, and I have my neighbors that are watching me do this and wondering, what is Gianna doing this week? So now we're going to work on B's. B's are an A with a bit of a kick. So we come up and push out. Up, push out. These are a little bit more difficult. Take a little bit more balance. If you find that you're falling over, go back and do the A's. The A's are the most important part. You can hear my foot come through at the bottom. Notice the bottom of my foot is facing up. Almost like I'm pushing something over. And when I get to the bottom of my driveway, I'm going to jog back up. I'm not going too close to the bottom of my driveway because we don't have a sidewalk, so I don't want any cars to be anywhere near me. Okay, we'll do one more V. And we've been doing these at practice ever since I started coaching with you guys. Head stays up. We pull through. Cheek pocket with our hands. Cheek, pocket. Cheek, pocket. Cheek, pocket. Now, it's getting kind of chilly out here. Just to keep us warm, we're going to work on some high knees. We are not racing. You should not be going as fast as you can with any of this because it's going to cause a lot of stress on your body too early in the season.
So what are we doing tomorrow night?
High knees. Right now we're doing high knees.
Yeah.
So knees are high, head is up, arms are pumping. Now, because that's a bit more aerobic, we're going to recover and walk back. Nice little walk back. And we're going to try it again. High knees. And again. Little walk back. It's a lot of talking. We're going to do this one more time. And high knees, head up. Pump the arms. Pump the legs. And relax. Now the opposite of high knees are butt kickers. But remember, when we do butt kickers for track, we use our arms. We just want to stay nice and tall, not leaning forward. Nice and tall, chest out, use your arms. You're trying to kick your butt with your knee. And once again, we're going to walk back. What do you think, Ness?
Yeah.
Doing a lot of laps of this driveway. Here we go. Butt kickers, using your arms. Head up. Really focus on getting your heels back towards the up. We have one more left. Starting to wish I hadn't gone for a run today. Now I'm trying.
Are you gonna do a run?
Use your arms.
Are you gonna do a run tomorrow?
I don't think so. And we're going to walk back. Now we're going to do something a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more for your shoulders. And this will be the last phase of our warm-up. So we're just going to skip, and while we skip, we're going to move our arms forward. And on the way back, I'm going to swim backwards and skip forward. And that's just warming up the shoulders. We'll try that one more time. Skip forward. And skip forward, and arms swim back. Good. All right. You guys take a minute. Grab your water and have a quick drink while I get set up for the next phase of the workout. Welcome back, Special Olympics athletes, for another session of track and field practice. Please make sure you've reviewed the safety guidelines, that you've gone for a walk to warm up, and that you've done your dynamic stretches before you get to this part of the practice. Today we are going to be focusing on jumping. Long jump, running long jump, and standing long jump. In order to do that, we're going to do a series of lead-up drills to get ready. In your dynamic warm-up, part of that was marching A's and B's. In this segment of the practice, we are going to be working on skipping A's and B's. The movement is exactly the same. We're just going to add a little skip to our step in order to prepare for the bounce of the jump. Okay, so we're going to do 2 sets of A's with a jog in between and 2 sets of B's. If the B's are difficult, go back and do another 2 sets of A's. Both will get you warmed up and ready for jumping. Okay, here we go. Now we'll move to B's. Notice that in the B's, the leg extends out with our foot flat, so that if I was standing in front of you, I would see the bottom of your shoe. Here we go. Next, we're going to get ready for the jumps by focusing on a series of bunny hops. I'm going to do 3, take a walking step for 3, 3, walking step, 3, walking step. I'm going to keep my knees bent, stay on the balls of my feet, and use my arms to jump. Jogging back. And we'll go one more time with those. Next segment of the practice, we're going to work on hopscotch to get ready to strengthen one leg, okay? So try one leg We'll try that twice, and then we'll try the other leg. That's a bit of a challenge. One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. This time we'll try and go a little faster. Now the trick is to use the other leg. If you find that too difficult, just switch back to your strong leg. That works too. Now we'll see if we can pick up the pace. Good job. So now we're going to get into a little bit more difficult prep for jumping, and it's called bounding. If your knees are sore, your ankles are sore, skip this part. It is simply giant steps with a bounce, but it can be a little hard on knees and ankles, so if you're hurting, just don't do this part. Skip to the next section of the practice. Between these, walk back because they are difficult on the body and you need some recovery. Colder even tonight than it was last week. At this time, everybody should go and grab a drink of water. Two phases to the running long jump. The runway and then the jump into the pit. We're going to divide them up right now, and we're going to start by working on the runway approach. We're going to look at a 9-step approach, and we're going to work through this about 5 times. Okay? So I'm going to start a starting line for me. I'm just going to use this piece of chalk. When I jump, I take off with with this foot right here. So I'm going to put an X on this foot. This is my takeoff foot. This is the foot that hits the bar before I jump into the pit. So that is the foot that I'm going to start with. And I'm going to start with that foot forward. And I'm going to start with my other foot forward. And I'm going to take 9 steps. My first step is going to be with the foot that has the X on it. Okay, so here we go, 9 steps. And I'm going to take big steps because I'm going to be running eventually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's my end spot. My foot with the X is back. I'm going to take 9 steps. But I don't want to run towards the road, so I'm going to run away from the road to be safe. Okay? And I'm not going full out because I don't want to crash into my van. I'm just going to go nice and easy and get used to 9 steps in control. So what you'll notice is when you start running, your runway has to get longer as you start to run. And that's why we took giant steps at the beginning. So I'm going to go again and see how close I get to that second mark. That was much better. My footing was much closer to my second mark, so I know that's a pretty good mark. Now I can increase my speed just a little bit and keep working on being smooth through that runway practice, okay? So you should start to feel a rhythm as you're doing this. You're not pushing, you're not sprinting, not yet. You're just trying to get a nice runway rhythm so that when you get to the board to jump, you feel very much in control. We're not jumping yet. Brad's gonna bring the camera down to the start, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the start of the long jump when you're getting ready to go down the runway. So my mark is right here. My non-takeoff foot, so the foot without the X, is right up to the mark, and I'm standing comfortably. I look where I'm going and I keep my head up and I head down nice and smooth. And we're going to try this one more time, last time through. Here we go. So that's the runway, and that you can practice that between 3 to 7 times is a good idea whenever you're practicing running long jump. Just getting used to the rhythm and the length of your approach for the long jump. The next thing we're going to move to is the takeoff for the running long jump. I'm going to take off into my grass because it's softer. When you're going to jump and land, you want to land on something that's a little bit soft. This is not a sand pit, so I am not going to jump as far as I can. I'm just once again going to try and get used to the rhythm. The thing with the running long jump is that you are taking off from one foot and landing on two. That's why we did those hopscotches to get warmed up. Take off on one, land on two. So I'm going to start at the other end of my driveway, which is only going to give me about 3 steps. I'm going to use the edge of my grass as my takeoff, and I'm going to land into the grass. Watch the way I land, okay? Forward, hands out for balance. And we're just going to go through this 3 to 5 times depending upon how you feel. Again, if it's hurting your back, hurting your knees, hurting your ankles, you don't have to do this part. Your body's not quite ready yet. It'll get there. It'll get there. Time. Watch again, landing with knees bent, butt down. Really important to keep the head up. So those are the 2 main phases of the running long jump, the approach and the jump. When we get back to our tracks, we can put that all together in a long jump pit, runway, takeoff into the sand. But until that time, these are really good drills to get you ready. The other jump that we're going to look at tonight is the standing long jump. Standing long jump is like the bunny hops, 2 feet to 2 feet. But before we get to that, let's everybody grab a drink of water. Sometimes on a cold night, you can think that because it's not very hot out, you don't need to drink. But the reality is, every time you exercise, you need to be hydrating with water throughout the practice. That's the way you get the best out of your body. Muscles work best when they are hydrated. So please make sure, even if it's cool outside, that you have your water with you. Okay, again, standing long jump, I'm going to use jumping into the grass. So my takeoff point is 2 feet, knees bent, and what we use to move our bodies in the standing long jump is a lot of arms in order to get us into the pit, because we're going from a stationary position. So we bend our knees, we bend our knees, we swing our arms, and we propel ourselves into the pit from our toes. And jump. It doesn't matter how far you go. What matters is the way that you're doing it. Right now we're working on technique. Once again, knees bent, swing the arms into the pit. In this case, it's grass. As you come out of the jump, you're going to actually come up nice and tall, and then when you land, you're going to bend again. So you're actually coming up and down. And that protects your back, it protects your hips, it protects your knees and your ankles. So nice and wide in my stance, same as my shoulders, same as my hips. Swing my arms, jump. Let's try that 2 more times. Running long jump, approach and take off, standing long jump, some skills and lead up drills to get you ready for those events. And now we're going to do a cool down that is active to get your body to recover from doing the long and standing long jump practice. So all we're going to do is something we did in the warm-up, dynamic warm-up, a little bit of skipping. We're just going to swing our arms and skip. You need a little bit more of a cool down, just do a little walk up and down your driveway or up and down your training space. So I'm going to do a couple of laps just at a walk. I'm going to swing my arms and just relax. Great job in the long jump, jumping practice today, Special Olympics athletes. Right now, I want you to move to the cool down segment so that you give yourself a nice stretch so that you're ready for the next activity that you're going to do tomorrow or for next week practice. Once again, if you find yourself sore or stiff tomorrow, make sure you're drinking water, have a stretch, go for a walk with a friend, loosen up again, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Finish up practice here. I've moved to the grass. For those of you allergic to the grass, use the pavement, or you can even go inside now if you'd rather do your stretches inside. So what we're going to do is just do a real quick, easy, relaxed, full body stretch. And we're going to start right here on the ground. I've decided to do my stretches in front of our heart. We made a little heart and lit it up during this difficult time that we're going through to let everybody know that we're thinking of everyone in our neighborhood and the people who walk by and drive by. So sending some love out to you guys as well. Okay, so let's start with a hamstring stretch. One leg's out straight, toe pointed up. The other one we just tuck in and we just lean forward as far as we can go. And we'll just hold it here for a few minutes. While you're holding, just breathe. Good. Switch over, go on the other side. Again, legs straight, toe pointed up, other one's tucked in, and we're just leaning in. Just till you feel the stretch. This doesn't have to be a painful situation, nice and relaxed. into your ankles. Lean into the stretch. Chest up, don't curve your back. Keep your head up and just relax. I'm enjoying listening to the robins chirping. The wind has died down, so it's a much nicer evening. Good. Now I'm going to stand up, nice and easy, and I'm going to start right here with my hands on my knees. I'm going to bend my knees a little bit. I'm going to lean down, and I'm going to straighten one knee. Now as I straighten this knee, my hands are going to come up a little bit as I feel the stretch. Then I'm going to bend them both, and I'm going to straighten the other knee. And I'm going to put my hands on my knees. I'm going to come up a little bit higher. Hands on my thighs, a little bit higher. All the way up nice and slow. Shake your legs. Get your feet a little bit further apart. Roll your shoulders now. Roll them back. And then roll them forward. And then put your head, look down at the ground. Lift your head up slowly. Look over your shoulder. See the dandelions growing in the garden. Look straight. Look back over the other shoulder. Look at the bird feeder at my house. And then we're going to make a big circle with our arms. And as our arms come up, go up on your toes. And as our arms come down, bend your knees, cross them in front, and bring them back up again and up on your toes. Whoa, and don't fall down the hill. And then back down again, bend your knees, cross them in front one more time, all the way up, and bring them back down. Shake it out. Just lean to one side, and straight up in the air. Lean to the other side, straight up in the air. Shake everything out. Give yourself a hand. That was a good workout today. Give yourself a pat on the back. Couple of things. Tomorrow, you may feel a little stiff. Probably a good idea to go for a walk, do a little stretch. Make sure you're hydrating. So you're going to drink water after your practice today, and you're going to drink water tomorrow as well. You should drink a little bit of water all the time, all through the day. Keep yourself hydrated. All right, athletes. Really enjoyed getting together with you again. Hope to see you next week. And I say 1, 2, 3. You say team. 1, 2, 3.
Team!